I don't see why that precludes me from being friends with this person.
Where are you from? What does that mean?
Um,
Well, I'm not sure that it does. I would assume it would it's a red flag for sure. But at the same time, when somebody agrees to get into a bar fight, they probably know on some level that you were picking a fight with them, and they know that they're engaging in a fight. If you punch someone, you are starting a fight, regardless of what they did. Even if you've been manipulated into it or not, you are making a decision to engage in a fight. The equivalent of secretly sending someone's porn is more like sucker punching someone at a bar.
okay.
I go up to people.
Like, where did you spend most of your life? California? I've been in a couple of places though for significant amounts of time.
People who don't even know I'm there, and then I punch.
I wonder the same. My guess is West Coast. West Coast would be correct. Okay, but I spent several years in China, several years in Ohio, most of my time in California. Yeah.
Punch them in the face. All right, punch them in the back. That's more insane.
I guess what I'm saying is maybe I don't have like a comparable situation, but my general feeling is that friends are people that you care about, and they can do good things, they can do bad things. You like them for who they are, despite their like mistakes that they make, as long as they consider it a mistake.
Yeah, but you're separating who they are from a mistake. And yeah, you're defining the behavior as an outlier. Most of the time this person's okay, but when they're drunk, they do this. I don't think Destiny's behavior here is an outlier. I think it's very illustrative of who he is and representative.
I think we can kind of like abstract the idea of a mistake. And like, I think someone who's a drug addict and maybe doesn't even want to quit on
Pretty sure Foodshops is Mexican. I am Mexican.
some level knows that they're making a mistake. And I think that there is some, I think if you knew Destiny very closely, he would know, even if this is a pattern of behavior, that what he's doing is like bad. And he might not admit it. He might even lie to himself and say it's not that bad. But I think he knows cosmically that it's like bad what he did.
Does he care?
I think.
Shouldn't you be at the rise with Hassan Parker? No, I'm good. I think I'm good.
Like I was saying, that like the drug addict might not care about quitting at the moment. Like there's some higher level thought process that's being muted where they care. At least if you know that person and you think they have a good character. At least somewhat deep down, they're not like some evil giga psycho.
Yeah. Well, I think it's if it was just that I sent, like, yeah, if I sent nudes, if I sent Shaylin's nudes to somebody, I don't even think she would break up with me.
You know what? The fact that you even say that and you're so confident in something like that, you know what? Look. I don't want to say sus. All right, listen. All I'm saying is that there's already suspicions that he is in a very abusive relationship with Shailen, okay? But, you know, whatever.
But if it seemed to fit a pattern of behavior where it's actually not surprising at all that I did that, like, because I do stuff like that all the time.
What a weird thing to say. I don't know, dude.
If I did that, I don't think my friends would stop being friends with me.
Just
I think they'd have the reaction.
What am I supposed to say?
That Dana's having. They'd be like, "What the fuck? Why would you do that?" But my criticism of his reaction is that it's not out of character for Destiny to do this at all.
Wow.
So it's hard to call it a mistake for me.
Yeah, the video with his, yeah, you mean the one where she runs off crying in the other room and he's just staring at the camera and treating as if everything was okay? Yeah. Yep. That was a video.
It's not a demon he's wrestling with. Like, this is what he does. He leverages his position over less powerful people to get sexual gratification from them and then betrays them.
Have you ever known someone or been friends with someone who just like continually wrecks their relationships through their own behavior? Like they have some like crazy pathology that like fucks up a lot of their relationships.
I don't think so. I don't think I've been friends with someone like that. I know there are people who think I'm like that. I've definitely had more friend and relationship breakups than anyone else I know, I think. I don't think I know anyone who I'm like, you're going to sabotage this.
Why why is it MrGirl? Why is it always MrGirl who's trying to like virtue signal or, talk about how righteous and just everything is or how righteous and just everyone should be, right? Like fuck, like he's just not in a position to say any of this. Like what the fuck is wrong with him? Okay, anyway.
Do you think that's a demon you're wrestling?
Self-sabotage?
Yeah.
No, it could be. I don't view it that way. I view it as that I, earlier in my life, would get into relationships by being more easygoing and more likable and more charming than I really am by concealing my feelings. And then I started revealing them, and then they all fell apart. And now I think my friendships are a bit sturdier because I'm more blunt and more myself.
Touch grass he should. Smash his a cock with a rock he should. Maximum pain he must endure.
But they're also much harder
Okay, I'm sorry. Unfunny, not funny. Okay.
to make. Or like, now it used to be that everybody who met me wanted to be friends with me, and now they don't. Now they are freaked out by me.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I think the demon I'm wrestling with is wanting to be
Hello, watching a crush? I'm not watching Queeman. What the fuck?
accommodating so that people will like me, and then realizing I don't actually want to be like that. But it could be. I could be totally wrong. But I don't. That's how I see it.
I guess relating this back to Destiny, I think it's hard. It feels weird to say that he's not wrestling an inner demon.
Least parasocial DGGer.
I think that in your wrestling with an inner demon, you can have points in time where you go through like stages of like how you interpret that demon. There can be a stage where you're like, you know what, I don't fucking care. Like, just let it happen. And
I watch Destiny every day, and it looks like he is in perpetual suffering. Having the courage to go on stream every day in front of his live audience of thousands of people, God, I can feel as though he's wrestling with his inner demons every day to get in front of the camera to educate all of us on the subject of politics. Ugh, I feel such kinship and struggle with him. Oh my God. Oh yes.
I think like that's like a stage of wrestling your inner demons.
I think that
you can
the inner demon implies that the demon is the small part, and in Destiny, I don't think that's true. I think it's more like he's a demon wrestling an inner person.
That's funny. That's funny. There's something about MrGirl's aura that makes me feel so uncomfortable. I'd feel so unsafe around him. It sounds like if you're in the same room with him, no matter if you're a boy or a girl, he would be like, I am so alone. All the other Viltrumites, they fear me. I am a victim of my own success. Yeah, that's what he would be like.
And occasionally has moments of realizing what he's doing is wrong, but for the most part doesn't care. And just does whatever he wants. And what he wants to do tends to be...
You're in Minecraft mining for diamonds. I'm in Minecraft mining for miners. I don't fucking know, dude. I forgot the lyrics, okay?
be destructive to other people.
Is it possible to be friends with like a sociopath, have like a fruitful relationship?
Destiny makes me so hot. That's fine. He's not that bad looking of a dude. Okay, I'm not gonna blame anybody.
I don't think so. I think you can have a one-sided relationship where you are like, I mean, like, yeah, like, I don't know what fruitful means.
Hello, Clay. Hi.
As
you
long as your
enjoy each
relationship...
other's company and intimacy.
Yes. I don't know if intimacy is really possible. I think it could be one-way intimacy where you're sort of intuiting what you think they're feeling that they're totally detached from, but they don't care about your feelings. They don't care about you. They might enjoy you. It's like having a relationship with like a cat.
Okay.
Cat doesn't
Sorry,
really
name
care about
drop?
your feelings. They care about how you're... They care about it insofar as they're like, oh, it's causing me distress that you're distressed, but they don't really care about your well-being. But they like you. They like being around you. But they don't have any empathy for you.
I guess deep down there's this feeling I have that like Destiny's not a sociopath. And I don't know what would
I used
convince
to
Least parasocial DGGer.
have that. I used to have that, and then I was quickly and harshly convinced of the opposite. What would convince you is him trying to destroy your life.
You mean getting banned from his subreddit? Like, well, I mean, I guess from his perspective, it's like trying to destroy his life because his narcissism is being threatened.
I guess I understand why you think he is one. And why
yeah, I mean, yeah, until it happens to you.
Yeah.
Maybe everyone needs to get the full
That's the first thought ever did.
harassment smear
That guy's a
campaign
clown,
treatment.
though.
Like watching him
Something
just like make stuff up about you specifically, just making up lies about you and then gleefully spreading them because he wants to hurt you as much as possible. I think that might shake your perception. But I don't know. It had an impression on me.
I think I give a lot of people a lot of grace, more than I maybe should. I don't really know. And I wonder if there's anything.
I just want to let you guys know is that narcissists have the ultimate form of insecurity, okay? They want to appear the most Giga Chad. They want to appear the most alpha in every single scenario, on screen at all times. All right, like American Psycho, okay? But it's very clear that deep down they are incredibly insecure, okay? Considering the way that he overreacted when he got banned from Destiny's subreddit. Temporary banned, by the way, okay? In the end, all they care about is other people's perception of them, okay? More than anything else. And nothing will ever change that, all right? Just remember, okay? They're the dumb person's version of a Giga Chad, all right? But they are the smart person's version of the most insecure, emasculated man ever, okay?
Thing that would convince me that someone's sociopath, antisocial, these kinds of things. Like, I struggle to think that, like, Hitler, Trump are, like, these sociopaths.
I probably have a similar model to you of sociopath where it's more like the person's real emotions are just buried so far down that they can't access them. But if I'm calling someone a sociopath, it means that the feelings are buried so deep that functionally they're not there.
I read this.
A sociopath, I feel like sociopath always refers to like wanting to manipulate others because there is an emotion that you want to see from them, or there's a reaction you want to see from them constantly, or something. Like, isn't that more of a sociopath? No, I don't know, dude. Whatever.
This Wikipedia the other day,
Like a troll, but
and it
extreme.
was about this Jewish guy that was in I think he was in like Austria or something during like Nazi Germany, and he used to be
Hitler?
like Hitler's old family doctor.
Oh, never mind.
And Hitler granted this Jewish family like amnesty or whatever, and like got them out of like the country safely. And I look at that, and I wonder if like true sociopathy even exists. And then I look at people like Destiny, and there must be people that he cares about.
What, his
True
mom?
sociopathy doesn't preclude
Like his
the
mom,
person
right?
from caring about anybody. I mean, like, if you look at the diagnostic criteria for these disorders, they're not that strict.
Okay.
It's a general lack of empathy, general
His son? Yeah, most
manipulativeness,
likely.
dishonesty, sadism.
Do you think you know of anybody that Destiny might care about?
I have not seen evidence of him caring about anybody.
I realize that was a weird question. I think out of everyone I've seen, I feel like I see the most.
I mean, is there evidence of MrGirl caring about anybody other than to satisfy his own fucking like narcissistic ego? Like, fuck, like if we're really gonna go there, then we can go there, right? Like, fuck. I mean, you know, if we're really trying to do a comparison contest, is there any evidence that Lav Loon cares about anybody but herself? Is there any, like, fuck, like all the people who, you know, dislike Destiny are literally the most narcissistic like pricks, right? Like both Lav Loon and MrGirl are literally both like hardcore narcissists. Like if there's any one definition of like what a hardcore narcissist looks like, it would be like Laughlin and MrGirl, but yeah.
Brotherly bond between him and Dan. And I think I'd be sad if Dan did something like dissociating from him.
Publicly?
If somehow
Again, I think
knew that
would you professionally attach yourself to Destiny?
I can't help but think how iDubbbz recently discovered empathy. Yeah, and it's always the people who proclaim to the world that they are the most empathetic person ever, all right? When, yeah, again, true empathy is felt, not said, okay? True empathy is secure, not insecure, to the point where you have to reinforce it verbally, right? Yep. D paid off all of his parents' debt and was ostensibly happily married with Melina for years before they fell out. Yeah. I think empathetic people, I think good people can have bad behaviors, okay? Like maybe that's just like a hot take that human beings are actually more complicated than a lot of what people make them out to be. But a lot of good people can have bad behaviors and bad people can have good behaviors. Like, oh my god, what a revelation. I know, dude. Yeah.
No.
When was the
But
last
like
time?
if he came
When was the last time you heard Hassan apologize? I don't think he has substantially apologized for anything, to be honest.
out and said like, I'm not talking to that retard anymore. Like
yeah, it would be sad. I'd be sad too.
Okay.
It's sad. Yeah, it's sad that I mean, like, he's like a sick person.
How are you today? Do you like the Alien movies? You might like to play Dark Descent. Dark Descent? Or are you talking about Dark, the German TV show about time travel? I do actually... God, I don't even remember the Alien movies, but I've heard... I remember watching the first one, I think. I remember I liked it, I think. I don't know.
I'm not. It's not like I'd be happy if Dan stopped being friends with him.
Dark
But I
Descent?
do
Never
think
heard
that's
of
what he
that.
should do for his own good. It could be like a
I think that's
boundary.
a
Like,
game, right?
I'm not going to be friends with you till you're in treatment because you're out of control. You're hurting people. I feel like I can't trust you, and you're self-destructing. You need serious psychological help.
Like, what the fuck? Like, what is this level of entitlement to where, like, MrGirl feels as though, like, the best thing for Dan to do is to do something like this? Like, how do you know what Dan is interested in? What if Dan likes collecting sex criminals for fun, right? What if it's something so outrageous to the point where, like you can't even begin to imagine, like, what Dan's motivations are, right? What if his motivations is that, like, Destiny is the only one willing to come to Uno bingo night, and like, he has nobody else to come to bingo night with him, so therefore, he can't possibly divorce himself from Destiny, because, obviously he's got to have, like, at least one person there as his, like, bingo partner or some shit. But yeah,
And I'm not on board for riding this
like, what the fuck?
crashing plane into the ground until you get a fucking hold of yourself. I could see saying that. I probably would have said that to him if Destiny hadn't.
Like, again, it's like, wasn't he, like, not even friends with Dan in the first place? Like, fuck. Like, it wasn't, like, MrGirl not really, like, didn't, like, Dan fucking hate MrGirl at the time when MrGirl and Destiny were friends? Like, I remember that Dan really hated MrGirl, but yeah, I don't know, fuck me, dude. And now, like, MrGirl is, like, pretending to, trying to pretend that he's, like, caring about what Dan wants or whatever the fuck. Dan's the man. No, he's cringe sometimes, okay? I'm not going to deny he's cringe. He's also rich and cringe and Jewish, okay? Which makes him extra annoying, but yeah.
Like, tried to destroy me. That's probably what I would have said. I would have said, I'm going to do this investigation, and if you want to continue any kind of personal relationship with me, you need fucking help. Like, professionally, it's my duty to call you out and to figure out what the fuck is going on, because I know you're a liar and I know you're covering up all kinds of shit. Interpersonally, if you want to continue any kind of, like, relationship, like, you need help. That's probably what I would have said if he hadn't.
Okay.
It was complicated because there was I will say the crusade against Mr. K is just about the only correct thing he ever did, okay? I think he was actually justified in going after Dr. K, sorry.
Retaliated.
Cool. That's all I have then.
Okay.
Have a good one.
You too. People will forgive awful things people do and they have so many good memories with them. Same dynamic that keeps people in abusive relationships. You feel like they can be better or that they aren't like this. Yeah, I never had that with Destiny. Obviously, I mean, I didn't know him that long, but from the time that I did know him, I was like, oh, you are like this. It did, and, like, I don't know what his relationship with Dan is like from what I've seen, but, like, a lot of it seems to be them bonding over being sadistic to people. So I don't know what about that.
By the way, Dan has been going hard on us on Twitch. He has been, but he's also been cringe about it, okay?
Dan is like, oh, you aren't
like acting real entitled, like bragging constantly on stream about how he's, like, the big man, saying how many connections he has, like, just comes off as him having a ginormous, like, narcissistic ego as well, like himself, and makes him incredibly unlikable in that aspect.
like this. It is sad that Dan continues to not only associate him with him, but defend and support him both in public and in private. Yeah, like I said, I think Dan is a true believer. I think he's Destiny's #1 fan. A common sentiment with everyone leaving Destiny's Sphere is saying he's a good but damaged guy. That is what I said as I was leaving. That's what I said to him as I was leaving. I was like, I think if you let your guard down and stop being so protective and defensive, I think that people would still love you. I had that exact same impression until I found out about the sexting. Then I felt like that he is like this.
Okay.
Not through and through. Everybody's got moments of caring about other people, but seem pretty rare.
But you can still be your friend's #1 fan, no? Yeah, just ask Misaki. I mean, Eri. It's like, whatever, man. He just wants to isolate Destiny, sure. Okay. Dan has a huge hog. Yeah, you would know. All right, cool. Awesome. Moving on. All right. Enough about Dan's hog. Okay. Thank you, MrGirl. Thank you for the video. I appreciate MrGirl for always being a content machine, okay? Forever. It doesn't matter if he's banned off of YouTube. Enough people will follow him.